the amount of Atom you get at the end of the game. Oh! Hello everybody, I'm Flameless Soul, and today I welcome you back to Bioshock. If things go well today, we will be farther than I have ever been in this game. Fingers crossed, we get through the entire level. Because, pretty sure that the original series ended either just after or just before a certain event in this level. Not 100%, I didn't rewatch the entire thing myself, but I'm pretty sure. So, let's get into the game, and...
Now you've had the pleasure of Andrew Ryan's company. He's the one who built this place, and he's the one who ran it into the ground. Nobody knows exactly what happened. Maybe he went mad. Maybe the power got to him. Maybe he just decided he didn't like people. Whichever way you slice it, good men died. My family's in a submarine hidden in the foundation of Fontaine Fisheries. I'll meet you there.
Interesting. Okay, I was seeing if I could up the FOV. Like, it wasn't an issue last time I played, but distinctly, feels like an issue now. What do you want, lady?
Days go by like wind.
I don't like that. I don't like when people
what
or things.
crawls in my garden.
I will shoot you, lady. I don't approve of your methods, whatever they may be. I don't approve of them simply because you're a spooky little bitch. Alright, let's check our supplies. We are not actually doing that. No! I didn't want that. He killed me. His health is gonna reset. Damn it. Do I have armor piercing? 24 armor piercing. Let me try shooting him with these. If he's there, I'll shoot him with these, but there's no guarantee he'll be here.
What's wrong with you, Mr. B?
L! Yes! Rescue!
No!
I'm glad this isn't one of those horrendous games that decides to swap up your controls anytime you need to worry about that.
You have shown kindness to my little one.
Thank you.
But are you really a friend to us? Regardless, a little one brings you a gift to demonstrate our appreciation.
Tinenbaum wants to reward you! The reward will be inside a teddy bear at a gatherer's garden. See, this is where the difference comes in, like, the difference, between, what they, damn, brain function. The difference between the amount of Atom you get at the end of the game. Oh, that was something that blows up. I'm a dumbass. That was something that blows up, and I should have expected as such. But maybe it was a color thing, and I can't see color. I can't tell what's shooting at me. New physical and medical expert first aid kits will go further healing. Okay. Sweet. Bathysphere key! Cool! I don't even know what this is, but I picked it up! I have it!
Is that you have to fight me?
You know... Okay, so I was watching a podcast earlier, and they were talking about older games, and I mentioned before that that I haven't played that many older games. Ow! I keep forgetting it's the same button to do this as it is to swing and all that. But I haven't really talked about when I say that I was bad at games when I first started playing them. I haven't really talked about to what degree that was. And so I thought I think it's a good idea that we go into that. Because when I say that I used to be bad at games, I'm not meaning that I was in like top 500 or something. No. I'm not stuck, game. I was very distinctly exploring. Man, that's insulting now. That's actually very beneficial though, because I can now use that as an example. Yeah, no, I absolutely would have had to take that hint. Yeah, those aren't worth... so those routinely... Those routinely, even when I've hacked them, shoot me. Oh! Sweet, here's our gift. 200 Atom, there you go. Hypnotize Big Daddy and 12 armor-piercing pistol rounds. You've now... for saving a little sister. New plasmid, Hypnotize Big Daddy. So... I right now I don't have a use for that, but we're gonna do an extra plasmid slot. I would always need to take those hints or look up guides. Like I could barely figure out any of this stuff myself. Like figuring it out on my own wasn't really an option. Especially, so keep in mind, a lot of the time back then,
They said you didn't.
I was working with a TV that was supposed to be 720 or 1080 or something like that, but it was an old reverse projector style TV. If you've ever seen those, not a lot of people have seen them nowadays. Plasma screens and flat screens became really common soon after their inception, and they were expensive, mind you. But it was an old reverse projector style TV, and at some point between 2004, when my family got it, and 2010, when I was getting into games more heavily, the auto-focusing feature broke. Game doesn't want me heading this way, so we'll go this way. No wonder the game doesn't want me going this way. There's no point in going that way. This is the way the game doesn't want me going. But it's sealed it off, so I can't go that way. So let's head this way. I always had to take the hints, but another thing is...
Who can blame a lady who craves variety?
I can! I will smack the shit out of you, lady. Where are you?
And one day, the gentleman stopped calling.
What you want?
radio down ahead. Says you were looking for an invite to the fisheries. Nuts, I say. But if your heads up to the Warp Master's office and find old Peach a research camera, maybe I could manage an invite. What was that? My friend, you are fucked.
Maybe. I might be.
My youth! My rose! I want it back! I want it back! You almost tightly. I'm sending something first to watch your back.
Get your ass down here, lady!
It's too tough for you. Look on the conveyor belt. You'll find something to keep you alive. Now, go get that camera and then snapshots of those that crawls on the ceiling. Then I'll let you into the fisheries. Just remember, sonny friend, I smell an ounce of Fontaine on you, and I'll have you in a box. Atlas gives you the vouch, but I ain't turning my eye just on his say-so.
Okay, so, games... Game's probably gonna explain. Yeah.
Everybody knows it. In the ground for months, and half the place still jumping at his shadow. Christ, even Ryan. You never mind all that. We got work to do.
Yeah, Fontaine's dead, says... I believe he's actually Fontaine, if some of the, spoiler stuff I've seen is, if I interpreted it correctly. I have, like I said, I know quite a few, of the major things, not the entire thing. So, I believe he's Fontaine. He may not be Fontaine, but I believe he is Fontaine.
Mr. Ryan asked me personally to make this clear to you. You give us Fontaine, and this whole filthy ring of his, and you'll be knocking back pints up at the Fighting McDonough's. But if you prefer to play the mule, we'll treat you like a mule. Give him a taste, Patrick.
Where did
What's
he
that?
come from?
Change of heart, Timmy? Timmy, ready to talk now?
Go on,
Hey, Timmy.
go on, do your dirty. Whatever Ryan thinks he can do to me, Fontaine can do double!
Down on the ground! Down on the ground!
Seems like old Peach knows where to find a research camera. He seems a decent enough sort. No doubt he'll wait until after you've done his errands to stick a shiv in your belly.
Yep, no, that's completely accurate. But no, I was so bad at games that I had not finished any one of the games that I played until actually the first game I finished all of the base content for was the original Dungeon Defenders. And I don't remember when I finished it. It was sometime after I got my first laptop. But I finished it, and it was one of the few paid games I had, so I actually finished it on every difficulty. And over time, I got good enough at the game that was a possibility. Proximity mines, go buck, dollars, pistol rounds. Yeah, do it, dude! The reason I do this is because now he's going to take damage from literally everything else in the space.
Darling Masha, we don't know what has happened to you. Ryan's men have taken you away and said
said you are needed to save Rapture. Who needs a child to save a city? But I see these little girls crawling out of these vents, and I only wonder if you might one day crawl out of this vent and find this note. We look for you, but if you find this, come to us at the Fighting McDonald's in room number 7. The code to our room is 7533. We miss you, our darling child.
So you see that's where the issue came in. They weren't
I saw one of the
orphans
smugglers having a game of catching on the docks today. And this surprised me because his hands were crippled during the war. He was unloading the barge the other day when he was bitten from the sea slug. He woke up the next morning and he found he could move his fingers for the first time in years. I asked him if he still had that sea slug. As luck would have it, he did.
See, that's interesting. Oh, he barely took any damage. That's interesting. But so that right there is a great example. I can't game the system by but you can't game the system by hypnotizing the big daddies and then having them not defend the
This Fontaine fellow is somebody to watch. Once he was just a menace, to be convicted and hung. But he always manages to be where the evidence isn't. He's the most dangerous type of hoodlum. The kind with vision.
True. It's taken me so many attempts to say this, but I can't game the system by hypnotizing the big daddies and then taking and rescuing the little sister without killing them. The little sister runs and hides.
The research camera looks just like one you'd see topside. According to this magazine article I scrounged up, it can also analyze genetic information, parse biological structures, lots of other $5 words.
The game literally just gave me a hint that you are low on Eve, but you are wealthy. I'd never seen that. That's great. So, first game I finished was something like 2012. It wasn't until after that that I ever actually finished a game. It was sometime in that era. That's the first game that I finished or even like remotely completed. Like I'd played several others before then, but that was the first one I finished. And it's not a hard game, guys, especially if you play on normal and easy difficulty. The truth of it was that I really was terrible at games.
That's what we've come to now. Look, I don't make the laws here. I just enforce them. But I didn't come to Rapture to string men up for running contraband. If Ryan and his crew have their law, then they can have my badge.
So what was the contraband that they'd be running in this case, I wonder? And this game is actually a great example of how bad I was. I've said that I played the intro multiple times, right? I even said that I'd played it before in that original series, my first attempt at this.
We have turned away from your light.
Huh?
Do I get to smack him? Take pictures of enemies with the camera to research them. Each type of enemy has a unique set of research bonuses. But try taking a picture of the splicer on the other side of the window. Oh, that's so lame.
Good. You observe the camera. Now get me some snaps on those spider splicers. And don't come back down here till you've got my research.
New research level reached. Spider splicers increased damage plus.
I observe all his commandments. I observe.
Okay, so there is benefit if you really just.
Don't open up if you know what's good for you.
if you really just need a bunch of pictures of something, you can just take a bunch of pictures, force your research level to go up, but it's better to wait and get a hold of pictures of multiple samples.
You think you know me?
I think I know you to a degree, sir. I know that you are, in fact, quite crazy. Like I was saying, with this game, when I say that I have played the intro multiple times, that is true.
I'm just lonely. I'm lonely.
Gene Bank. Okay, cool. It's just this. But that doesn't mean that I was ever actually any good at this game. That means that I played through it multiple times, yes.
You think you can?
Security bullseye. Are these pesky security cameras getting your... You can simply tag one. Okay. I took that at some point, and it's really not worth it.
You have the research camera? Good. Guess it's time to get to work for old Peachy. Take the man's pictures, and let's get the hell out of this place.
Where's a shut off?
This little sea slug has come along and glued together all the crazy ideas I've had since the war. It doesn't just heal damaged cells, it resurrects them. I can bend the double helix. Black can be reborn white, tall, short, weak, strong. But the slugs alone are not enough. I'll need money. And one other thing.
Samples.
If things weren't bad enough,
Subjects.
seems that even our water system's sprung a leak. Yep, that's right. Irrigation system in Arcadia is taking on seawater. I told Mr. Ryan when we were building this place, either you build her like a bathtub, or she's gonna turn into a sewer. No, McDonough, he said. We're not gonna build no bathtub. We're gonna build Eden.
So, we know that someone was aware that Rapture...
I know your type!
Someone was aware that Rapture wasn't exactly the best design. From the very beginning, someone was highly aware that Rapture wasn't a very feasible thing. Thank you. Thank you, Body. You are a great friend. I love you.
As the respectable labs have all turned me away, I have turned to Fontaine's smugglers in Port Neptune for supplies. Fontaine's men are pigs. They spit, they stink. But they deliver, and they don't ask questions. They're all terrified of Fontaine. He reminds me a bit of the Germans. We efficient. It wouldn't surprise me if we were surrounding things down here.
New physical talent, splicing scroungers like having a sixth sense. You'll spot things you otherwise miss. Send a gene bank for now. So when I say that I was bad at this game, I refer to the fact that I never reached, my first time playing, I never reached this section. Right here, this little section in Neptune's Bounty, I never reached here. This was not something that I had seen until the time that I played for recording. Scrounger is more valuable than the tiny amount of Eve I get from medkits.
Now, are you ever bringing old Peach them snappies, or are you just sightseeing?
Oh, shut up! I am...
think you can trick me?
Not only am I bringing them to you, I'm bringing them to you in a good way. So, that right there, this game is a phenomenal example of it. I was bad enough at this game.
Tricked you, monster.
Hands up, you monster! Why are you...
Coward.
The death penalty in Rapture Council is an uproar, riots to the very parasites we fled from.
The death penalty
There.
in Rapture. Council's in an uproar. Riots in the streets, they say. But this is the time for leadership. Action must be taken against the smugglers. Any contact with the surface exposes Rapture to the very parasites we fled from. A few stretched necks or a small price to pay for our deals.
So, you see the issue with Andrew Ryan's little philosophy here. He doesn't really care about the people. He cares about his idea of utopia. And maintaining his idea of the utopia it completely ignores what is actually good for the people. It would be good for the people of Rapture to have access to goods and services from the surface. Obviously, in a semi-limited degree.
We have turned away from your life. Fight me properly, Papa.
But even semi-limited is something compared to what Ryan is willing to permit, which is nothing. Andrew Ryan didn't want to permit any sort of contact with the surface whatsoever, regardless of its potential benefits that it might offer. He really did not care what the surface had to offer. His ideal was purely to escape from it. And that's how he saw Rapture, is he saw it as an escape from the surface. The surface, not service. I don't know how that came out of my mouth. So he brought about risks that his own people didn't need to face, but they had to face them because it was the only way to get some of these goods. Clearly, like if there was a cheap / easy way to acquire certain things here from Rapture. Can I burn this? While that would have been interesting, I can understand why not.
Rapture's changing, but Ryan can't see the wolves in the woods. This Fontaine fella, he's a crook and a proper tea leaf, but he's got the atom, and that makes him the governor. Sinking the profits back into bigger and better plasmids, building them Fontaine poorhouses, like Fontaine recruiting centres. What you know here, bloke's gonna have an army of splicers. We're gonna have ourselves a whole heap of miseries.
So that's where the issue showed up, is that that Fontaine had...
Is this...
Fontaine had the atom, because it was an option for people to just buy it up, I'd assume. It produced an issue where the people who were good at something were capable of buying up all of it and stopping the market.
It's me, Soul. What? You should
Closing in
know.
on the whole ring. I'd pat myself on the back, but let's face it, these aren't exactly bloodthirsty desperados we're talking about. Rapture's full of poets, artists, tennis players, not hired gorillas. But this leader of theirs, this Fontaine, he seems to know his way around the grift. He keeps his nose clean, but not so clean that the right people don't.
The thought of me wife and child hiding in that filthy submarine makes me blood boil. Help me get them to safety and I'll be in your debt for life.
Dude! Fuck you!
He keeps his nose clean, but not so clean that the right people don't know he's not to be trifled with.
I met Ryan the day me and the lads were installing the bathroom plumbing up in his Koch Park Avenue digs. Boy, says he, what's with all the brass fittings? General contractor had me down for the tip. Well, I says, I suppose it's the contractor then who will be bailing out your loo once a fortnight, is it? If it's price you're worried about, I'll be picking up the brass, so not to worry, Squire. And why would you be doing that, says he? Well, Mr. Ryan, profit or not, no man bails water out of privies built by Bill McDonough. Next day I finds out I'm Ryan's new general contractor.
See, that is where Ryan actually was a pretty decent person. He saw the benefit of a craftsman who took pride in their work to the degree that they refused to let their work become something disgraceful.
Find a better hiding place, monster.
Why do they call me monster? I don't know that one. That's not one of the ones that I know. Why do they call me monster? That would actually... Now that I think about it, that's probably, there's probably some significance there. Them calling me monster, maybe. Or maybe it doesn't hold any significance. Like, maybe it's purely like the little fish thing that was stupid. Its significance is in something else. Whoa! Screw you.
Mr. Ryan, I believe in Rapture, but that doesn't mean we always win. Fontaine Futuristics is the biggest thing going in Rapture. So let me be plain. When we arrest that tow rag Fontaine for his thieving and smuggling, we must make it clear that we won't touch his business interests. We sit on the council because these poor sods trust us, not because God gave us a chair.
See, McDonough actually seems to have known like a pretty good bit about reading like the people of Rapture in a way that allowed him to see a perspective that others that may not have, especially Ryan. Bonus, multiple subjects. Spider splicer organs can be used like first aid kits.
Sounds like that should about do it. Head on back to Fontaine Fisheries when you're ready, would you kindly?
Ay, Dios mío, un milagro.
Don't heal! That's actually really good, the whole using their organs as first aid kits. That'll come in real handy for a little bit. At least for the remainder of this. Okay, so where are the big daddies on this level? There's a... I know there's the one back this way.
My wife, Moira, she's a right pain in the neck, but she's a beauty. She means the world to me. I can't help feel God punishing me for bringing her and Patrick to this place. I thought this would be a better life for us. Can you imagine a bigger fool than that?
Afraid of me, monster?
No, I'll tell you who I'm afraid of, though. You're big. But I hate to say it. Truthfully. Truthfully, sir, I'm bigger. Rosie! Damn, Rosies are difficult. I don't know where the fuck that Rosie is. Yeah, call her out. Call her out. And then we're going at it again, dude. Well, actually, you're not a dude, are you? You're a Rosie. Well, you're still a big daddy.
Thanks, Mr. Bubbles.
No, can't do. Sorry. Come on.
No.
Accept it.
You saved me.
I'm guessing that our last big daddy is somewhere in there because I don't know anywhere else for it to be. Found another one.
Something must be done about Fontaine. While I was buying buildings and fish futures, he was cornering the market on genotypes and nucleotide sequences. Rapture is transforming before my eyes. The great chain is pulling away from me. Perhaps it's time to give it a tug.
So, it was Fontaine who came up with the idea of plasmids. So that does, like, considering plasmids are supposedly the entire reason everything fell apart, that aligns with my theory that
The Little Sisters Orphanage. In troubled times, give your little girl the life that she deserves. Boarding and education free of charge. After all, children are the future of Rapture.
get your ass off the ceiling.
They sure go down easy once you research them up right. Come on in and show us those snappies.
They don't go down easy. So, I was really, really bad at games. Literally, I never made it through a shooter. Like, I could barely aim in shooters. My only way of succeeding in them... My only way of succeeding in shooters was, truthfully treating them like, treating every piece of cover like Godsend, and just aiming only, like, when I knew that I was safe to aim. And you've now rescued or harvested all the little sisters on the deck. You need Adam from them to become... I have not rescued all the little sisters on the deck, but where is the last little sister? Okay, I am turning around, because, last little sister, it's actually highly important that I get them wherever they are. Oh, found you! Yep, call out a little sister. So close to doing it with just the one health kit. But I found them, which is quite literally the only important part of that. I really did. All I needed to do was find them.
No, 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 no.
That's the last one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, this guy I know is going to require I give up all of my weapons before I go in, and then he's going to betray me. I remember I literally stopped right here in either the second or to last or last episode.
Something for me and my crew? Or are you just looking to get criticized? You sit here a spell. I needs to set on some coffee. Maybe put on silverware and the like.
Yeah, that's totally what you're about to do. You're totally not about to betray me and shoot me in the back.
Before you head into the fisheries, a word to the wise. Old PG seems about as straight as a dog's hind leg. You keep your eyes open. If that's his price, you're gonna have to pay it. But he can't very well take your plasmids away now, can he?
Okay, it wouldn't let me pick this up. Oh, I know why it won't let me pick this up. New engineering tonic focused hacker. Another favorite in the hack smart line of gene focused on hacker. Oh. Store in gene bank. See, this ain't a weapon, sir.
Now, I bet when your boss waggled out of hell, he done told the devil he'd be right back. The devil says, "Sure thing, Mr. Fontaine. I'll hold you a spot." Ryan promised Fontaine was dust, and now here you are doing his dirty. I guess that makes Ryan a bum, and you a...
Where's the camera?
Atlas! He was ours! Ours!
It's my job!
Okay.
I will execute
The submarine bay was only used by smugglers and thieves. More than likely, the entrance will be hidden. Better to keep the coppers off the scent.
Atlas, you really don't have to keep this up. Yeah, no, this right here, I've never had that conversation before where he talks about the submarine bay being hidden. When I say that this is the furthest I've made it, I'm not joking. This is the furthest I have made it in this game ever. So you could have accidentally progressed without re-grabbing your equipment. Ooh, that's... Like, I guess maybe the game would tell you? Maybe? Alrighty. This is quite literally the furthest I have ever been. I've never before found a weapon upgrade station. I should have thought about that a bit more. I didn't realize that these close immediately upon use. If I'd known that, I would have seen if there was a wrench upgrade. I use the wrench a lot. by that I mean a lot.
You can't quit. Fontaine will find you.
Hey, fuck Fontaine.
You don't fuck Fontaine. Fontaine fucks you.
So I didn't finish the thought before on the ghosts, but
You got it. Should be smooth sailing from here. I'll meet you up ahead.
yeah, no, we're not going that way quite yet, dude. But I didn't finish the thought on it before, but the ghosts are an interesting little thing. So I don't think that they're actually ghosts, mind you. I don't believe that they are actually ghosts. But they are interesting because if they aren't actually ghosts, then what are they? Are they something different?
He's putting the screws on us and double. He's squeezing us out of 80 points of our cut with the threat of turning us into Ryan if we don't play ball. Son of a bitch. Sammy G comes and tells me he's thinking of going to the constable. And the next day, Sammy G was found in a sack in a salt pond. We got no choice here. We stay on Fontaine's crew and we're gonna catch the gallows. We take powder. We end up like Sammy G. Oh, there's gotta be another way.
Huh. So Fontaine was your pretty generic little threat type dude. He would threaten you and then enforce that threat by killing one of your men who was talking about talking. I really was really bad at games. Never finished a game. Would frequently... I got stuck on the beginning of Neptune's Bounty of this game my first time through. And I was completely out of ammo. I had no Adam. I had no health, no Eve, nothing. I was just dying, respawning, dying, respawning, dying, respawning. I had absolutely nothing, and I couldn't conceivably get past the area. At least I couldn't think of a way to get. Okay, what the fuck? What was that?
I'm right outside the submarine bay, but I can't get in. I'll need you for that. My family can't be more than 100 yards away.
Why do I not believe that you're here? I really, for some reason, don't believe that he's here. So what are you? Some big fancy machine. Are you a drill? Is that what they did down here? They drilled? That would explain why everything sort of leaked a bunch. Are you...
You've had your fun, but enough is enough. If you press that button, you'll learn what it means to truly be my enemy.
Okay, so game-wise, they're literally you'd have no reason to doubt Atlas at this point. I have reason to doubt him because I'm pretty sure he's Fontaine. Because of, like, that's one of the things that I found out before. And I don't think there's a way you can go forward without pressing the button. I cannot. There is no way forward unless I press this button. That will be it today, guys, because I didn't realize we'd left Neptune's Bounty. I didn't realize there was a loading zone. I don't think there was a loading zone. But that will be it today, guys. We will press that button next time. This is literally the furthest I've ever made this, and we are 3 episodes in. Keep that in mind. 3 episodes, and this is the furthest I've ever made it in this game. So, if you enjoyed this, please leave a like down below, as well as subscribe if you haven't already, and tell me, how bad at games were you before? Or compared to how you are now? Or were you better at games than you are now because of age or some other issues? Like, are you that out of practice? Who knows? And remember, guys, smile, because even if you're bad at games, that doesn't mean you can't have fun with them. Right? Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, guys.